Ever heard of a river so hot it can boil animals alive? Or a woman who claimed she gave birth to rabbits? What about a strange experiment that turned spider webs into music? Yup, it's all real. We've got everything from a man who survived a meteorite strike to a goat that stood trial like a human. So, buckle up and get ready to have your mind blown. Let's jump into the strange, the mysterious, and the downright weird facts that make you question reality. Imagine walking through the dense, steamy jungles of the Amazon. It's hot, humid, and all around you, nature is buzzing with life. But suddenly, you hear the unmistakable sound of water bubbling, like a giant pot on the stove. You stumble upon the Shen Pishka, a river deep in the Peruvian Amazon. But this isn't just any river. The water here reaches temperatures of up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to boil anything that falls into it, and yes, it's very real. This river is a geological wonder. Unlike hot springs or volcanic areas, there's no obvious reason for why the water here gets so hot. Scientists believe it's because of geothermal activity deep underground, where Earth's heat seeps through cracks in the crust and warms the river. Locals consider it a sacred site and believe it holds spiritual powers. Whether you believe in the legends or just the science, one thing's for sure: this river is not a place for swimming. In fact, animals that fall in are often boiled to death within seconds. It's a natural phenomenon that reminds us of the incredible and sometimes deadly forces of nature that still remain hidden in the wild. We all know the odds of being struck by lightning are slim, but what are the odds of being hit by a meteorite? In 1954, Hodges, a woman living in Alabama, experienced the unbelievable. While napping on her couch, a meteorite the size of a grapefruit smashed through her roof and hit her. The space rock traveled from the distant reaches of our solar system and, of all places, landed on her. Anne survived with just a nasty bruise, making her the only confirmed person in history to be directly hit by a meteorite. Scientists estimate the odds of being hit by a meteorite are about 1 in 1.6 million, making Anne's encounter nothing short of extraordinary. Can you imagine? One moment you're peacefully napping and the next you're hit by a chunk of outer space. Anne's story reminds us that while we're here on Earth, we're not totally safe from the universe's random surprises. We all know that people go on trial when they commit crimes, but in medieval Europe, it wasn't just humans facing the law. Animals, too, were put on trial. And yes, they were sometimes sentenced to death. One of the strangest cases involves a goat being tried for theft. That's right, a goat. During the Middle Ages, it was believed that animals could be held accountable for their actions, just like people. Goats, pigs, dogs, even insects were brought into courtrooms to face charges. Some were found guilty of crimes like damaging property, or in extreme cases, killing people. The trials were treated seriously, with judges, lawyers, and witnesses. If the animal was found guilty, it was sometimes sentenced to death by hanging, burning, or worse. While today, this seems absurd, these trials reflected a belief system that blurred the line between humans and animals, attributing animals with human-like intentions. It's a bizarre chapter in legal history, and one that makes you appreciate how far we've come in our understanding of justice. Spiders are known for weaving intricate, delicate webs, but did you know those webs can also be turned into music? That's right. Scientists have figured out how to translate spider webs into sound. By using lasers to scan the web's structure, researchers assign different musical notes to the individual threads. The result? A haunting, alien-like melody that gives a whole new meaning to the term spider sense. Each web is unique, and because the webs are three-dimensional structures, the music created from them has a complex, multi-layered sound. It's not just a neat trick. This research could help scientists better understand how spiders build their webs, or even develop new materials inspired by spider silk, which is stronger than steel. Plus, it makes you wonder, if spiders could hear their webs, would they recognize the music? Either way, next time you see a spider spinning its web, you might just wonder what kind of song it's composing. In one of the strangest medical hoaxes of all time, a woman named Mary Toft from England claimed in 1726 that she had given birth to rabbits. Yes, rabbits. She had doctors and townspeople convinced that she was somehow producing small rabbits instead of human babies. The doctors were baffled, at first. They performed all kinds of tests and even documented their findings, reporting that Mary's body was capable of this bizarre phenomenon. However, after further investigation, it was revealed to be a hoax. Mary had been inserting pieces of rabbit into her body to fool the doctors. While this seems ridiculous to us now, at the time it caused a major stir. The case went on to embarrass the medical profession and raised questions about how easily people could be fooled. It's a bizarre example of how strange and gullible humans can be, especially when faced with the unknown. Love peanut butter? How about turning it into diamonds? Believe it or not, scientists have discovered that under immense pressure, you can transform peanut butter into diamonds. The secret lies in peanut butter's carbon content. Diamonds, after all, are made entirely of carbon, and with enough pressure, something like 1.3 million times the atmospheric pressure on Earth, those carbon atoms can be forced into the crystalline structure of a diamond. Of course, you won't be able to create diamonds in your kitchen by squeezing a jar of peanut butter. But this experiment shows the fascinating potential of everyday materials. The ability to turn something as simple as peanut butter into a precious gemstone might sound like magic, but it's all about chemistry. So the next time you spread peanut butter on your sandwich, remember, inside that tasty spread is the potential for diamonds. A man built a functioning computer out of living cells. The future of technology might be more alive than you think. In 2020, researchers achieved an incredible milestone. They created a functioning computer out of living cells. This biological computer operates using the same basic principles as traditional computers, but instead of circuits and microchips, it uses cells to process information. This breakthrough is the first step toward creating computers that can grow, heal, or even evolve, just like living organisms. While we're still a long way from seeing living computers in everyday life, the potential is enormous. Imagine a computer that can repair itself or adapt to new challenges in the same way that our bodies do. This development could revolutionize everything from medicine to artificial intelligence. The future is alive, and it's fascinating. The Stanford prison experiment is one of the most infamous studies in psychology, and for good reason. In 1971, a group of Stanford students were placed into roles as either prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. The study was meant to last 2 weeks, but within just 6 days, it had to be shut down due to the extreme behavior of the participants. The students who were assigned the role of guards quickly became abusive, while the prisoners experienced severe emotional stress. The experiment spiraled out of control as the guards enforced brutal punishments, and the prisoners started to break down. The study revealed the terrifying potential for ordinary people to commit horrible acts when given unchecked power. It's a chilling reminder of how easily human behavior can be influenced by the environment. And it's a study that's still debated to this day. In 1962, something incredibly strange happened in Tanganyika, which is now Tanzania. A laughter epidemic broke out. It started at a girls' school with just a few students who couldn't stop laughing. Before long, the laughter had spread throughout the school and into neighboring villages, with people laughing uncontrollably for days or even months. This bizarre epidemic affected hundreds of people, and no one could figure out why. It wasn't just laughter either. Some people experienced physical symptoms like fainting and crying. The phenomenon eventually subsided, but it left behind a mystery that's still unsolved. Was it mass hysteria? A viral outbreak? No one knows for sure, but it's one of the most unusual outbreaks in history. The world of quantum mechanics is filled with mind-bending concepts, but none is stranger than the quantum suicide experiment. This thought experiment asks the question, what if you could survive a life-threatening event in one universe, but die in another? In the world of quantum physics, where every possible outcome exists in a parallel universe, this idea suggests that you could survive in one reality while simultaneously dying in another. The experiment is purely theoretical, but it plays on the idea of parallel universes, where every decision, no matter how small, creates a new universe with a different outcome. While this may sound far-fetched, quantum mechanics has already proven that particles can exist in two states at once. Could we one day prove the existence of parallel universes? It's a mind-blowing concept that forces us to rethink everything we know about life, death, and reality itself. In the 1960s, NASA was involved in some pretty out-there experiments, including an attempt to figure out if cats could communicate telepathically. The researchers placed two cats in separate, isolated locations and monitored their brainwaves to see if they could talk to each other without any physical communication. The results? Well, nothing conclusive was found, but the experiment raised an intriguing question. Could animals have forms of communication that we just don't understand yet? So, which of these mind-blowing facts shocked you the most? Whether it's rivers hot enough to boil animals alive, or the strange possibility of telepathic cats, the world is full of mysteries that remind us how little we really know. If you loved these bizarre facts, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all things Fact Frenzy. Stay curious, and until next time, keep exploring the weird and wonderful world around you.